Sie hören Sport und Musik.
Das Spiel ist aus! Deutschland ist Weltmeister!
Mario Götze! Mario Götze!
Tonight, whether you call it football, or soccer, a German American and a German in America dare to call it Fußball. German football from an American point of view. Let's add some buns to that hamburger and join them for the Schnitzel Boys Deutschland Hour.
The Deutschland Hour.
Here it is, the Deutschland Hour.
Beers, brats, babes, Fußball.
Babes?
Yeah, why not? There's
Where are the
babes everywhere. Oh, the babes are around.
Where are the
They're always
babes at?
around.
Where are
They're
the
online, but they're around. They're online. They exist somewhere.
Where are the babes at?
It was National Pretzel Day apparently yesterday or 2 days ago.
Oh, I totally missed it. Too carby for me.
True, and there's pretzels everywhere, and I mean, it's just one of those made-up holidays where it's like, okay, I
National
guess
Pretzel Day, Pretzel Awareness Month,
Pretzel Awareness Year for me. I love a good pretzel. I'm a big pretzel and cheese man.
Pretzel. You put. Oh, wait. You don't put the cheese on the pretzel. You eat it with the pretzel. Or is the cheese? Is the cheese a spreadable cheese that the pretzel can be dunked into? How do you do it?
The latter. The latter.
Dangerous.
You rip off the pretzel, you dip it into a cheese, and you eat it.
Now, this is sort of a cream cheese consistency, or more of a liquid situation.
More of a nacho cheese style situation.
Nacho cheese. Oh, so like
Ish.
like melted cheese, cheese
Melted
sauce.
cheese, although in some situations you can have what's called beer cheese, which is like a powdery consistency.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. It's not my favorite. Mine's more of a cheese dip. You can get it at the movies, but you know what I love?
What do you mean you can get it at the movies?
You go to any AMC, you get a big thing of pretzel and a cheese dip.
Oh.
Or a soccer game, at that too, and some of that. When I go to the mall and get Annie Ann's, I love a pretzel dog, I love a garlic pretzel. That I don't.
That's the real deal.
But that's an American pretzel. German pretzels, Brezel, is a little different.
Salty.
But you know what I like is I love the Snyder's hard pretzel cheese sandwiches.
Okay.
Like the little pretzel cheese sandwiches things.
What?
I have them in my kitchen. I go get it. It's like hard pretzels. You can get hard pretzels. Dip that in cheese as well. Or they have these little cheese sandwich thingies. Not sandwich, like little
pretzel cheese sandwich thingies.
It's like two tiny things of pretzel, like an Oreo, but with two.
It's like an
pretzels and
Oreo
cheese.
with pretzel and cheese.
Right. They're my favorite. They're hard to find, but when they're in stock, I bulk up. In fact, they've even bought them on Amazon.
Bulk up. You buy. Do they come in bags or in packages?
Literally, when I went to Walmart 2 days ago, they just stocked up, so I grabbed 2. I should have grabbed 3.
Snyder.
But I think they're even called pretzels.
I see. Okay, I see what's happening. The Snyders.
Or you get the bigger, like the roll goals or the real pretzel. Just dip it into cheese sauce. That works. Or you get the big
cheddar
ones.
cheese pretzel sandwiches. Those look more like waffles than pretzels. But I guess
they're waffle pretzels.
But I guess it's pretzel. It's the pretzel texture and flavor.
If you squeeze it, the cheese comes out of the holes.
Really, it's liquid. Enough.
Powdery,
Ish.
liquidy-ish. Yeah.
All right.
It's like a gum. It's like a guar gum cheese.
Yeah, I mean, this is the kind of thing that you can just bypass the digestive process and attach it directly to your ass. That kind of thing.
Hey, I'm down. I'm not eating I'm not eating bags of pretzel sandwiches to meet any sort of goals here.
It's not part of your balanced diet that your doctor recommended.
I'm not trying to achieve anything other than have a great time.
Other than this is tasty as fuck.
Yeah, my taste buds get well treated around this house, these parts. Anywho, we had some Fußball, Deutsches Fußball. So there's 2 main topics to talk about. One is the midweek stuff, which is still very interesting. We'll save that maybe for later. And I admitted to you before the broadcast with both the USA Hour and the Germany Hour, these past week or two and the next week or two I'm going to be more into the midweek games than the weekend games, I think. That's where I'm at right now. Because, the Bundesliga, bless its heart, it's pretty much done. Especially over the weekend, it kind of almost finished.
It's not for my team, but I see. But your point is taken.
There's one exception, but even that, it's like, So that's the table. Therefore, and same in England. I got my eyes in England. At Liverpool.
What do you mean even that? What do you mean even that?
Well,
Köln and Darmstadt are gone. It's
done.
the relegation
playoff you guys are fighting
but
over.
The relegation
so
playoff spot has there's at least 4 teams.
Yeah, but who are you against?
Still in the running. It's Mainz, Union Berlin, and Mönchengladbach.
Well, yeah, but again, the relegation drop-off spot, we usually win those, so it's not the end of the world. It's not a drop-off. Darmstadt and Köln are pretty dropped off, right? That's settled, and right now a couple clubs are fighting over who has to continue, who gets 2 more games or not.
Well, Darmstadt is now officially. Darmstadt is cooked. They can no longer even get to the relegation spot. Even in the wildest math, I mean, we knew this for a while, but now even the wildest math no longer gives them any hope. So they had some hope thanks to the draw of Mainz and Köln. A victory over Heidenheim would have kept Darmstadt alive for 1 more week, but that didn't happen. They lost at home to Heidenheim. And so Heidenheim is now officially, basically officially safe, and Darmstadt is officially gone. Now Köln got the point, the late point. They could have had 3. They missed 1 penalty, made the second penalty, had a shout for a third penalty that wasn't given. And so that turned out the big relegation derby. That's why no one's here. Like Hans Wolf, everybody's exhausted. Nobody wants to talk about this relegation derby. But the tie kept Köln alive in theory. However,
it's 5 points, right?
They're 5 points behind, 3 games left. Probably not gonna get there. They're not gonna get there. But in theory, they are still alive. Now, for Bochum, this was a pretty good result because a Mainz win would have put us back into the relegation playoff spot. And we had a big win on Friday where we really dominated. Hoffenheim did not show up. Pellegrino Matarazzo's team was pretty lethargic looking, and Bochum was like, they looked at their remaining games and were like, if we're not going to get this, then it's going to be tough. We're going to be tough to find other games to win. So this was the one, and so they really dominated. Got a 3-0 lead, and it really at that point, like, Hoffenheim had done nothing. This was completely representative of how the game had been up to that point. And then Hoffenheim scored out of nowhere, like a weird sort of counterattack. The ball bounced around, and I turned the game off. I was like, I don't want to see this. If we're gonna piss away
another lead, yeah.
If we're gonna piss away a 3-0 lead at home, this can happen without me watching. So I turned it off, and I had my friends, somebody on my group chat, tell me, let me know when this game is over. And they said, and we hold on, and then we gave up a second goal, but held on to get these very important 3 points. So yeah, Bochum. And then everybody was like, oh, Bochum are safe now, right? And not really. Like, the relegation playoff spot is still very much possible. Anyway, that was my weekend. How was yours?
So that was 5 points. So we had 2 tight parts of the table, and both parts of the table, instead of tighten, got looser. Because now with Köln, Mainz, and Bochum all fighting, now Köln's gone.
Pretty much.
We got 5 points now. And
I mean, they really needed this. They really needed to win this game to have any kind of chance. Yeah.
Upstairs between Leipzig and Dortmund, Leipzig won 4-1, and now there's 5 points up there too. So that also loosened.
Right. Yeah.
And just like that, just like downstairs, the top 4 is also pretty settled because there's a 5-point gap there, and I think that's it up there as well.
But
the table's done for the most part.
The unbeaten streak is still making it exciting because Leverkusen again looked on the verge of losing, and again got the stoppage time.
The ref gave him an extra minute just to get that equalizer. Yeah, they got the equalizer, and Bochum's next game is against Union Berlin, 14th versus 15th.
Yeah.
Very exciting game.
Another big
and then
one,
after
right?
that. And then after that's Leverkusen, and when we do it before the podcast,
I was going to ask you. Now I told you before the show, but I was going to ask you, who was the last team that Leverkusen lost to?
Bochum, last game
And
of last
the
season.
answer is Bochum. Yeah, last game of last season. It was a very comfortable win. It was and there was something at stake. We could have still gotten relegated on the last game of the season, but it was a very comfortable win. I think Leverkusen got an early red card, and it was pretty low stress. And if you had told them then they wouldn't lose another game until, well, we don't know yet, until a year from now, they would have been like, "You're crazy. That's insane." But here we are.
Bochum can do two things. They can beat Bayern München. They can beat Bayer Leverkusen.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
I feel that Bochum is going to beat Bayer Leverkusen in 2 weeks' time, and that's going to end their streak. And Bochum's going to get 3 points that way, and essentially make sure they don't get the relegation spot.
If we were writing Bochum the movie, that's how we would script it. But
Bochum the movie starring Brad Pitt and
as Heiko Butcher.
and,
Brad Pitt in the role of Heiko Butcher and
Patrick Stewart as Thomas. What's the last guy coach's name again?
Oh, Thomas Ledge.
Thomas Ledge.
Patrick Stewart.
Any bald guy. I don't know.
Just any bald person.
Who's the most famous bald actor you could think of? Maybe Ben Kingsley. How about that?
Ben Kingsley? Yeah, they're about the same age. I mean, what about the kid? No, we'll get Anthony Jeselnik from
the comedian Anthony Jeselnik.
No, that's not his name. What's the guy's name from Barry? Hank.
Bill Hader. NoHo Hank.
NoHo Hank. What's his name?
Great actor. You're right though. Let me look up.
He would be amazing.
Yeah, he's amazing. NoHo Hank, played by. Come on now. Anthony Kerrigan.
Anthony Kerrigan. I knew it was Anthony.
Yeah, Anthony Kerrigan. Well, anywho, so that's why the weekend is one thing, because I'm also looking at Jurgen Klopp winning the title of Liverpool. That's done with.
That's not happening.
The English race is pretty much done with.
No, it's not at all. What are you talking about?
What?
Well, if Tottenham can tie Man City, then sure. That's what we're looking at. Tottenham here. Arsenal beat Tottenham. Now Tottenham's got Man City. But Tottenham's Arsenal's enemies. They're going to lose on purpose. So I think Man City is going to win that title again.
Really? I mean, they have the... Okay, if you say so. I mean, they're gonna drop points at some point.
Who's Manchester City going to drop points to? They're invincible.
I mean, they usually do at some point. If Arsenal can win, I'm going to say, if Arsenal can win their last 3 games, then they're going to win the title. That's what I'm going to say.
And then who's Manchester City going to drop points to?
Anyone.
Because
if
they
Premier
lose,
League. This
if Man
shit
City
happens.
wins their next 4 games, and they win the title. But
they're not going to. That's what I'm saying. They're not going to.
The Tottenham and Man City is next week. If Tottenham and them tie, which is possible, then Arsenal will win the title. But I just don't know if that's going to happen.
I think Arsenal also could drop some, but they really bottled it last year. I don't know. We will see. From our perspective, Kai Havertz had another goal and assist. He's really I'm eating my words. I did not think this was gonna work. He looked so lost in preseason and in general, the whole kind of setup, I didn't get it. And they made it work. And Arteta said nice things about him. He said he's been fantastic. And I mean, that can only be good for the national team. I think he has really surprised me. And I think, so
Kai,
hopefully.
Pascal Gross, German's doing well in the Prem. Yeah, and then, because at the beginning of the season, Kai Havertz was a mistake. What's up with Kai? Blah, 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 blah. Here we're at the end of the season, and he's scoring and assisting, and they're on the verge of maybe winning the title. So
he's doing great.
I'm rooting.
I mean,
for
he cost $80 million, so you know, in some ways.
Well, they needed a number 9. They bought Kai, who's not a number 9, and they're like,
he's not.
Kai? Speaking of Germans at Arsenal, have you been looking at Mesut Ozil these days?
Have I been looking at him these days? I have not. What's he look like?
He's a weight builder now. He's a bodybuilder now.
Really?
Little Mesut Ozil is now big Mesut
Oh, is
Ozil.
big now? Oh,
He's
wow.
stacked. Yeah. So a little PSA for Mesut Ozil fans. He fizzled out. His soccer career is plenty to talk about. He kind of fizzled out there. He was an Arsenal legend for a while. But he retired, and now he's bodybuilding, and he's bulking up, and he's loving his new bodybuilding career. So good on him. Good on him.
That's wild.
Yeah, because he was a slim dude.
Yeah.
Now he's not Arnold Schwarzenegger size, but he's bulking up. His upper half of the body's bulking up.
Oh yeah, he's looking buff.
Yeah, so
Wow, he's like he's just been waiting for his career to end so that he can go work
be a
out
bodybuilder.
more.
Yeah, so
That's
he's a bodybuilder.
amazing. This is not the typical trajectory, especially in England. It's like, Wayne Rooney like doubled in size within like minutes of retiring, it seems like, and you can see those players like Luke Shaw on Man United, or these guys who are you're like, once their career is over, they're going to put on 100 pounds in 6 weeks.
These
Not
guys
Mesut
exercise.
Ozil.
No, he kept it.
It's like, thank God I can work out more.
I know he did the.
I don't have to
opposite.
play any. I don't have to. These soccer games keep interrupting my workouts.
I know. I don't have to be so slim anymore.
Yeah.
You know, like the great thing about Michael Jordan winning that championship, coming back from baseball, was he had like a baseball physique. It was like because he had like thick arms. He was bulking up for baseball. And then when he went back to basketball, he didn't have a basketball body; he had a baseball body. And he sort of had to work his way back to a basketball body.
Had no lift anymore.
Yeah. No, 100%. But anywho, we digress. Germans doing okay in England.
We're gonna be on Mesut Ozil's body watch from now on. This is
got big
gonna be a
arms.
regular segment. Wow.
Yeah, and that might also be a little clue to his mind being a little wandering. I can't read his mind, but if I had to read Mesut Ozil's mind, he fell out of love with football in the second half of his career, right? Isn't that kind of the energy we got from him?
Perhaps.
And this could maybe be a reason. He found a new passion, and he's like, now I'm doing what I want to be doing, which is body
Lifting weights.
Yeah.
All
maybe
right.
He'll be in some weightlifting competitions. Trying to think. Yeah, look at this photo of him. Look at those big old guns in the chest.
Ooh.
This is not the slim Mesut Ozil we remember.
Ooh, not the skinny guy that won a World Cup. All right. Amazing.
But going back to my point, is
What
the
was your
weekend is interesting in small doses. I like to see Yanks abroad. But for the most part, the weekend stuff is done. The real excitement, the real mystery is in the midweek. We're talking Europa League. We're talking UEFA Champions League. We got Bayern versus Real Madrid tomorrow.
Yep.
And Borussia Dortmund versus PSG on Wednesday, I believe,
Yeah.
right? Mm-hmm. And those are some big old matchups, man. I mean, we could have it all. The UEFA Champions League final is Wembley. Do you remember the last UEFA Champions League final in Wembley? Do you remember when and what happened?
No.
2013.
Oh, this was Bayern Dortmund?
Yep.
Oh,
Bayern beat Dortmund in the last Wembley Champions League final.
we could do that again.
We can do that again. They both are in the semis, going the same place. Now, I hate to say this, my brain is going to give it to a Real Madrid PSG final with Real Madrid over PSG. However, my heart hopes Bayern München can make it through, because I think they can. I would love for Harry Kane to shut the naysayers. And just the Bayern München carousel circus continues. So
Uli Hoeneß can't keep his mouth shut.
What did Uli Hoeneß say? I was about to say something else, but what?
Oh,
what
no,
kind of-
go
what kind
ahead.
of Uli Hoeneß
I
news
thought
do you
that's where you were headed. No, go ahead. I can sit on this for a minute.
have? I have something from Lothar Matthäus' mouth.
Oh,
There's just a series of dudes.
you say tomato, I say tomato. Yeah,
Right.
it's all the blowhards, the Bavarian blowhards.
Yeah, the Bavaria blowhards have just different
Have
mediums to
spoken.
express themselves, and just echoes throughout the soccer game.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole industry
Yeah.
on their phones just waiting to get
hear
a
what they have to
missive,
say.
and be like, oh, fantastic, our headline for tomorrow.
I'm
set.
gonna read it and you translate it, because it's
Oh.
like I can translate it, but I think it's just better. Okay. All right. So first and foremost, I'm going to say this: there was a petition from the fans
to keep
about-
Tuchel.
to keep Tuchel. About 4,000 people signed it. They want Tuchel. They call him Jochel, and they'd rather have Tuchel over De Zerbi. They'd rather have Tuchel over who's the front runner? Ralf Rangnick. They'd rather have Tuchel over
The
other guys.
The Ralf Rangnick thing is a little mystifying. Like, what are his qualifications? Okay, but anyway,
This is from Lothar Matthäus. Wenn Rangnick sich jetzt für Bayern entscheidet, ist sein Kopf nicht frei. Is what Matthäus said.
if Ralf Rangnick decides to go to Bayern, his head won't be clear.
He's not thinking straight, right? Isn't that
He's
what
not
that means?
thinking straight. Okay.
Maybe is that a translation?
Well, I don't know. What is there more context? What is he trying to say?
It's just a headline. Let me send you the link. You're probably better than I do.
Okay.
It's just part of his column. But pretty much the story is Ralf Rangnick tends to be the front runner. I'm going to send to you in the chat here. Ralf Rangnick is apparently the front runner. And this keeps going to what I brought up with Ralf Rangnick before. People keep using Ralf Rangnick wrong. Ralf Rangnick is an excellent Sportdirektor. As a coach, he was just pretty dang good. He wasn't bad. But I think he's won a grand total of 0 titles as a coach, right? Or am I wrong? He's coached a lot of clubs, and he's got no titles to show for it. So, and they already have a Sportdirektor. They have Max Ebel. They have the other presidents there. What they need is honestly, what they should probably just bring Hansi Flick back if they bring anybody back. Julian Nagelsmann put himself out of the running because he came into Germany, which I think is a good move. Right.
What Lothar was trying to say about Rangnick is because Rangnick is now the coach of Austria, and they're going into the Euro, and he was saying, like, if he now basically decides to go to Bayern after the Euro and basically end his job for Austria, that means it'll be a distraction for this Euro for Austria. He won't be fully focused on coaching Austria through this Euro if he now commits to Bayern, and so that's going to be a distraction. That's why Matteo says it's a difficult situation.
Yeah, but what an empty, stupid thing, right? I mean, I don't.
You brought it up.
I know, but just say I bring it what Matteo to say. That's the reality of the modern game. Why it's a full page article.
Job. I don't know why Bayern would get Rangnick. I mean, he's like.
It's his relationship with Ebel. It's his relationship with Max Ebel, the Bayern sporting director. But Ralf Rangnick's an old vet. But the thing is, Ralf Rangnick is a control freak. He's a Sportdirektor. He's not just a head coach. So
the Man United thing did not go well at all, and yeah, I don't know.
Just in general,
they are difficult. That's a difficult job.
He was a good coach at Leipzig, but they didn't win under him. And then he was a coach at Hannover and Schalke. They didn't win under him then either. He was the coach of Hoffenheim. They did well, but they didn't win. He's a specialist at being a sport director and taking clubs that are bottom feeder clubs and making them big clubs. Look what happened to all the clubs since he's left. I mean, Hannover and Schalke are in the second division. Leipzig, I guess Leipzig's the same. And then what was his other club? I forgot. But none of the clubs have gotten better since he's left.
Man United, yeah.
Yeah, and
that's true. They didn't get better.
So, I don't know. I mean, they could do worse. He's a veteran dude. And Bayern mentioned maybe he's a team that doesn't need an X's and O guy. They just need like a man-manager style vet. And maybe that's what Ralf Rangnick is. But
you were saying how Tuchel is not sophisticated enough tactically last week.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with myself.
I mean, Uli Hoeneß said that he doesn't know how to develop young players. And that's Tuchel doesn't.
Yeah.
And that's why, in response to this petition, he's like, oh, they don't want him. They don't want him to stay. And Thomas Tuchel was hurt by this. He said in post-game interviews, yeah, that was hurtful. He was gekränkt by this. His feelings.
By what Uli Hoeneß said?
By what Uli Hoeneß said, yeah. And then why even in the he's like, why say this 3 days before a Champions League game? You're supposed to be focused. And yeah, I mean, it's just like a wild. The blowhards are just. Why would anyone want that job? It's such a.
Right. It's a. Archie Rentut wrote an article about the job, and he's God. How do you put it? He's like, you have to appease the board, you have to appease Uli Hoeneß, you have to win all titles every year, and you have to appease
expectations are extremely high. And even if you win them all, it's not good. Like Nagelsmann was like in front of everything, and like he got fired. It's like you gotta have gravitas. You gotta dress right. You gotta win everything. It's like it's just an impossible. I don't know. I'm everybody who turns them down has my fullest support. It's like, why would anyone want this job?
Yeah, and Julian Nagelsmann never dressed right. That maybe.
Well, I mean, that was the word, right? Like he just doesn't have the right gravitas for the gig. Yeah. That's why I got. I mean, anyway, we'll see. They'll find somebody. I don't know. Tuchel seems to have.
Ancelotti was too
Tuchel
relaxed,
sort of has a serenity about him that I find very endearing. You were asking me.
What?
You were asking me last week, what do you like about Tuchel? I enjoy the way Tuchel talks to the press. Like you get a sense of who he is. Like he doesn't hold back. He shares himself.
Tuchel is a German freak out machine. You know how Germans freak out? Like the top blows off a German, fiery Germans. Thomas Tuchel is a freaking freak out machine. There's nothing serene about him.
Well, I think he has found some serenity in this like.
He knows he has nothing to lose, so that helps.
Yeah, he's like, I'm out at the end of the season. I'm going to do my best. I understand the limitation. You know, I don't want to stick around, and I don't know. I like it. I thought when he was in Chelsea, going through that whole sort of transition with the Abramovich situation, I thought he handled himself well. The way he kind of. Anyway, whatever. You don't like Tuchel. I think he's likable. Anyway.
Will Tuchel get past Real Madrid, Bjorn?
Well, Real Madrid, they're like their own thing in the Champions League. It's kind of hard to bet against them because they have so many, over the last few years, they've been so many matchups, especially like quarterfinals, semifinals, where you look at game one or you look on, and you're like, they're getting beat. Like they're playing a better team. They're all, with Kroos and Modric, it's like, all right, they're a little long in the tooth, and but then they find a way, like in crazy ways. It's like the Leverkusen unbeaten streak. It's like unless the game's, stoppage time, whatever it is. So it's very hard to bet against them.
Yeah. So your answer is they will not get past.
I mean,
your answer is. With chill Tuchel, he couldn't get past Real Madrid.
I think they have a chance. Tuchel says Serge Gnabry's going to score. He says he has a feeling about that. Gnabry's going to get a goal. Musiala, apparently, Musiala's maybe back from injury. They're getting some people back who have been hurt. I think on paper, Bayern could take them if they were playing in a non-Champions League whatever. What I'm trying to say is I think Bayern could beat them.
When would they play in a non-Champions League?
But then, yeah, exactly. But then the mystique
Dubai?
is hard to. It's hard to really believe. But yeah, I don't know.
I think if Bayern holds tight and plays on the counter like they did against Arsenal, I think they got a shot. I think for Bayern to win the Champions League, they need to become like a counterattacking team, kind of. And they've proven that they can do that if they want to, and maybe that's their plan against Real Madrid.
But then that's Real Madrid's whole thing, right? So they're both like everybody's just gonna hang back and
yeah.
I don't know.
No one's gonna touch the ball tomorrow. No one's gonna touch the ball tomorrow.
It's gonna be obviously gonna be must see TV. I mean the Bayern being at home first is probably a disadvantage. So yeah, I guess I
you know what? It can be until it isn't. The whole home, like let's say Bayern Munich wins 3-0 tomorrow, then the first game being at home is a total advantage.
But
now Real Madrid have to.
It would have to be that.
I know it's
much.
not what's going to happen, but yeah.
But anything short of that, you're going to be like
2-0 at home. I mean, that's a lot. But anyway.
Without the away, it's not as much as it used to be. Without the away, when the away goal rule was in effect, 2-0 was a pretty great result. But now even that you would think,
And Anyway, the elimination
Obviously,
of the away
Bayern
goal rule,
would be delighted to have a go with a 2-goal lead.
Yeah, and I think that'd be huge. The elimination of the away goal rule, by the way, I think it's been a really good change. I really have enjoyed it. Because it is that thing where it's like a heavy tie just isn't enough. You really do have to win. And I like it. I think it makes them play for more for longer. So it's been a good adjustment, I think. Yeah, how do you feel about the away goal rule?
Yeah, I think I agree. Probably things are a little less cagey now than they were because the home team is worried about giving up that away goal. So probably true, yeah.
Yeah, you can't really play for ties.
I mean, there's a lot, but on the other hand, you get more. I think it has made the games more, but it's also more. It means more penalty kicks, which I'm sort of less in favor of. I think it's a better tiebreaker than just having penalties, in my opinion.
True. Did we see that yet, though, where the away goal would have eliminated penalties?
Sure, like against in the Man City Real Madrid.
Who would have won without the away goal on that?
Let me look.
I'll vamp. Okay, the other big game is BVB against PSG. PSG.
PSG. BVB PSG.
BVB PSG. BVB definitely going in as underdogs. I mean, how'd they even make the semis, for crying out loud? Good for them. They got past. They just got past PSV. They got past Atletico, who's in a lot of ways Atletico's the BVB of Spain, at least this season. And they got through, but now they got real opposition in PSG. And PSG is their group stage partners. Let me just double check those group. I think it was a win and a loss. No, like a loss and a tie in the group game. Let me just double check what the record was against them earlier in the season. The UEFA Champions League.
Anyway, Man City got a 3-3 draw in Madrid, so they would have advanced on the away goal rule.
Got it. Well, Dortmund tied PSG at home earlier in the season, and then they in PSG in Paris. I think they lost. Let me go up here. In Paris, they lost 2-0. Yeah, so it was 2-0 in Paris, 1-1 at home. That would be 3-1 in aggregate. So now they're playing them again.
Yeah, I mean they're very much the underdog here. Although both of those teams are a little bit enigmatic. You never know who's going to show up. They both have pretty potent offenses and sometimes leaky defenses. So it's a little bit of a crapshoot. But like overall, I mean, if PSG doesn't advance, the world will be shocked.
And then on Thursday, is it this Thursday already? Yeah. Roma and Leverkusen starts. Now, that is the team I'm confident are going to go all the way. I think Leverkusen are still on track for a treble. And of the 4 teams left, because on the other side of the tie is Marseille and Atalanta, Roma is the tougher of the 3 teams. And Roma is not going to be any pushovers, but I think they're going to be able to handle Roma. Maybe a couple late-minute draws and some penalties, whatever. But if they get past Roma, then it's theirs to lose. They're going all the way. So Leverkusen, I have faith in. Leverkusen are going to win the Europa League this year.
I agree with you.
But will either the German teams make the final? I mean, they're both underdogs. BVB big underdogs. Bayern mentioned slight underdogs.
I think that game is pretty even. I think that is a pretty even matchup.
The Bayern-Real Madrid?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know where I'm getting this from, but I think Bayern are going to play on the counter more than Real Madrid are going to play on the counter. That's my thinking.
Not tomorrow. No way.
Well, of the 2 teams, Real Madrid with Kroos and Modric definitely have the better sixes, with Kroos being the young whippersnapper of the two at 34.
Well, Modric is no longer a starter for them. He's going to come off the bench. He's not going to.
Yeah, it's 37 or 38 even these days. I don't remember.
He's not going to start.
Tuchel's bringing kids through. He brought through Eric Dyer this year.
He said he was really happy with Eric Dyer.
The only kid he brought through for real is Pavlovic, right? If you had to boil into anybody.
Yeah, but he made the national team. I mean, like, it's sort of ridiculous to say that he hasn't,
given opportunities.
He hasn't given opportunities. It's nonsense.
Yeah, there's only 2 kids on the roster, and he's played both of them, I think.
He's had a bunch of, and there's other, I mean, it's Uli Hoeneß, whatever. So, We also need, we're still watching the coefficient points. We need some victories by the German team so that we can get some.
Well, if Leverkusen wins the Europa League, does that confirm our?
I think
spot?
that's pretty much that would pretty much be enough. Yeah, I don't know. The details of the math are complicated, but it depends a lot on Aston Villa. What Aston Villa does in the Europa Conference League. Yeah, because the points per game are the same for each of these competitions. So you get as many.
But the prestige is not the same, Björn.
Yeah, but we're talking about the coefficient here, not the prestige, not the prestigient.
The same principles that send Salzburg to USA over Atletico Madrid and Arsenal and things like that. Yeah. Now, I know what kind of math, quote unquote, we're dealing with. What kind of math we're dealing with here.
Oh, you want to get into that again?
No.
I will bust that table out again on you.
No, I'm not saying you're out, but I'm saying the logic of it all doesn't make any sense. Like, why is Red Bull Salzburg going in, but not Barcelona? Barcelona didn't get in because of some dumb rule about only 2 teams from Spain can come or whatever.
Right.
Anywho, so the fact that these coefficients depend on Aston Villa is why Germany can't get a 5th spot. It's like, I don't know. What are the teams that consistently make the final 8? They're from Germany, they're from Spain, they're from England. Not really from Italy, barely from France. They one team from France, So give it. Well,
Italy's got two teams in the Europa League. Anyway, yeah.
Okay. Zero teams in the.
Write a letter, man. Write a letter. Tell him how to do it.
I don't know, man. Do you got anything else?
We're already done. Amazing.
Yeah, we'll keep it short.
No, we talked about Uli Hoeneß. We talked about Lothar
The only
Matthäus.
other thing
Thomas Tuchel guaranteed that Gnabry was going to score. I told you that.
The Bayern München coaching situation with Rangnick. We talked about that.
Yep. There is a lot of injury questions for Bayern. We don't know, but I think Musiala is going to play. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see who shows up tomorrow.
The big project we should work on maybe for next week is every American in the Bundesliga, we give them a letter grade. What do you think?
Okay.
I mean, it's we could probably do that right now.
It's all yeah, exactly. It's Joe Scally gets a B-. Everybody else gets an F.
Well, I agree that Joe Scally's up top with a B. I wouldn't give him a B. I give him a B. Brendan Aronson gets a C, maybe.
What? Based on what?
He's playing now. He's been playing.
He has?
Yeah, he's been playing.
Well, I guess I'll get a live look at him next week.
John Brooks gets a C+, even though he was dropped. He was for 3/4 of the season.
You're being very generous.
I'm saying C+. I'm to average. That's what I'm saying here. No one's an A. There's no A pluses this year. Pellegrino Matarazzo maybe gets an A-. How about that?
If you're not playing, he gets an A- for Hoffenheim being what?
They're 9th place. They're mid-season. He was good for him.
Lost to Bochum.
Yeah, but they're 9th. Pellegrino Matarazzo left a dying Stuttgart and went to Hoffenheim and turned Hoffenheim to a stable mid-season.
Left a dying Stuttgart. They're now in the Champions League.
Yeah, I know. What's his face?
Sebastian Hoeneß.
Sebastian Hoeneß and Pellegrino Matarazzo were sinking with Stuttgart and Hoffenheim. They switched, and weird Germanness was like, what? And both of them just excelled, especially Hoeneß. It was a great switch.
Yeah, I don't think Matarazzo would give himself an A, but
what would you give him? I didn't say A+.
Yeah,
A-.
B-.
B-?
For being 9th with Hoffenheim? I don't know. And yeah, I guess if you're not playing, you get an F. That's right. That's it right there. So
Gio Reyna gets an F.
Well, Gio Reyna left. He's not even there. I mean,
what does Kevin Paredes get this year?
Oh, he really irked me. By the way, I meant to bring this up, but I didn't at the time when we were playing Wolfsburg, and he was so pleased with his time wasting.
Yeah,
he was like
CONCACAF baby.
Oh my God, he was like in the corner flag. But not only did he, like really take it to the extreme, which, whatever, that's fine. It's part of the game. But, like, then he was celebrating every time, he got another throw in or whatever, and he got another, he would, like, he wanted to be celebrated. He was, like, pumping his fists. It's like, you don't do that for
CONCACAF pride, baby.
It's poor form. So, so he gets deductions. He gets deductions for that. But otherwise, I guess he gets a B. I don't know. He's been playing a lot.
All right, we go with John Brooks with Hoffenheim. We give him an F, which I think is harsh. Leonard Maloney with Heidenheim. What does he get?
Oh, he gets he got hurt now,
C?
right? He's gonna. Well, Heidenheim's been doing well. I guess B+. Let's give him a B+.
Yeah, maybe even an A-, man. I mean, how much better was supposed to do?
Perhaps. Yeah, I guess I don't think of him.
What is our?
I don't really think of him as American, but I guess he's an.
He has the paperwork.
No.
He's got the paperwork.
I mean, fair enough. So he gets a good grade.
He counts as a Yank abroad.
All right, A- for Leonard Maloney, but but he's hurt now. He got injured.
Well, you can't do anything about that. But like when you think A+, do you think like they are a one-man band like Diego Maradona leading Napoli to the title? Like what's our rubric here? What's an A+? What's an A-?
Like Boniface gets an A+. Florian Wirtz gets an A+.
Those are stars. We had no stars this year. That's true.
I mean,
but Leonard Maloney, week in week out, holding mid of a team with great results.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot. I honestly forgot about him.
And Joe Scally, right? He wasn't a star, but
in
he
and
played
out,
week in and week out for the most part, and he was the right back. Now Gladbach had a rough season, but like he played a week in and week out. He benched that veteran German-Austrian player.
Gets a B-.
Yeah, B-, I think.
Who else do we have? Brendan Aronson, I really thought wasn't playing, but I have not watched Union Berlin lately.
He's been getting more minutes lately. Well, you're going to watch him next week?
Yeah, that's good. That's when I'll give you the Brendan Aronson grade after that game. This entire grade depends on the game against Bochum.
Over the weekend, Borussia Mönchengladbach played Union Berlin. Let me take a look at our American minutes on this game. Because we have 2 Americans. What kind of minutes we're looking at here? All right, lineups. Joe Scally started for Gladbach. Brendan Aronson started for Union Berlin.
Huh, all right.
Joe Scally played a full 90. Brendan Aronson came off.
In the 32nd.
No, maybe. I don't know. I hope not. Brendan Aronson came off in the 74th.
All right.
So, they both started. Brendan Aronson playing 75. So, they're getting minutes. They're playing.
Okay.
And it was a scoreless draw. So, it wasn't super impressive, by the way.
So, who else we got? That's it, right?
Let me do
Kevin Paredes, I guess, gets a pretty good grade, even though he really annoyed me.
Yeah, I mean, that might be. I'm trying to think if there's anyone we're forgetting here. Gio Reyna left halfway through, so he's almost an NA.
What's going to happen? What's going to happen with Gio Reyna next?
Who knows?
What is going to happen with him?
Leverkusen, no Americans.
That's a real question.
München with an American on loan. Stuttgart with no Americans. Leipzig with no Americans. Dortmund with an American on loan. Frankfurt, I believe, doesn't have any Americans, right?
Timmy Chandler doesn't count anymore.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Timmy Chandler. I've been back and forthing with, by the way, on Reddit, not on Reddit, on Twitter or on X with Derek Ray, because Derek Ray keeps sharing about how Timothy Chandler's the super legend. Everyone on Frankfurt's like, we love the guy. And I'm just like, that dude's a mercenary. Like, for the U.S. fans, we do not love Timothy Chandler. And then someone asked me, it's like, what are you talking about? So I had to share old quotes again about Timmy Chandler, the famous story of Timmy Chandler going to Bobby Wood, who was playing in Bundesliga at the time. They told Bobby Wood to take it easy. Like, there's a huge U.S. match. Like, don't get injured because Hamburg needs you healthy. Like, pretty much telling him to, like, phone it in. We have to go back to Germany healthy. He just said that out loud. He 100% admitted, So for U.S. fans, he's a freaking mercenary. But I'm glad that Frankfurt fans like him. So technically, he is a Yank abroad. Technically, but he's one of those asterisks. So it's like, yeah, it's just the paperwork, really. Hoffenheim has Brooks and the coach. Heidenheim has Leonard Maloney. Werder Bremen doesn't have anybody. Wolfsburg has Kevin Paredes. Gladbach with Scally. Union Berlin with Brendan Aronson. Bochum with nobody. Mainz with nobody. Köln with nobody. Darmstadt with nobody. Yeah, so I think we did the gambit, I think.
All right.
All right, cool. All right,
cool.
Americans. Get better. Get in there.
Get better.
The winner of this year's Steven Trundle Award is Joe Scally. Joe Scally wins The Steven Trundle
Well,
Award.
what about Leonard Maloney, though? He's technically...
Leonard Maloney wins the Timmy Chandler Award.
The Timmy Chandler Award, that's right.
He wins the, you know what he wins? Leonard Maloney wins the Thomas Dooley Award.
Ah, very good reference.
All right,
Kaiserslautern, speaking of Tom Dooley, Kaiserslautern beat Hamburg.
Hamburg.
Making things, Hamburg is done, but then Düsseldorf couldn't win either. Anyway, we'll see. I got my eye on that relegation playoff.
Hamburg is cooked like a fricadelle, baby.
We will see you on the other side of the USA Hour, where my team also won.
Yeah, my team did not win, but we did okay. But we're talking new rules. It's a fourth away in the regular season already.
Fascinating.
Fascinating. See you all in a few minutes, or see you all next week. Tschüss, bis nächste Woche.
Goodbye.